Here they come up on the right. Well, some of the boys are a bit young to compete yet. But there's wonderful golden light on them at the moment. They are very beautiful. Very beautiful antelope. Oh, I just spotted another one running in. Even in the bachelor group, there's the dominant one. Okay. We are going to meander down towards the southern side of the airstrip. If we don't see anything more there, I think we're going to start moving our way back towards Djuma.
Diana says she loves succulents. Are there any succulents that I can show you here in this Harvey Sand? Diana, there are, but they are not that easily seen. Are they coming up this way?
Slowly coming up the drainage line.
I guess patience will win and we'll get them at the water. I don't know if I can get... Diana, there are a number of succulents. The one succulent we did see a little while ago was the Stapelia, that carrion flower. Succulents that we get, cressulas, we get portulactas, cissus. There are two types of cissus. It's a creeper, succulent creeper. Cissus rotundifolia and quadrangularis.
Yeah, correct. Have you got sugar? Not yet. Yeah, maybe we'll have this one. Okay,
we're going to stop and listen quickly. They might go out of the riverbed onto the other side, or they might be coming this way. Last I saw of any one of them, and it was difficult to see, it was just a very quick glimpse, was about under 100 yards down the drainage line, so it might take a little while before they get here. Okay, copied. I am stationary. I'll move now. Negative. I think it might take them a while still. No, I'm not seeing any of these. So I think we'll get out of the drainage line. Maybe we'll go up onto Central Road. And we'll just come up there. We'll just have to keep doing what we've been doing, waiting for them to come out of the bush. Because they're most likely going to be coming here anyway.
Carrying down the drainage line. 3 vehicles in front. Okay, over there. Yeah, check at the source road. That's good. Over here, I'm not too sure. I went up north. If I can relocate on the Zingala, that they crossed over to Monumental from Champagne, so I'm not too sure.
Well, it seems that all 3 of us are waiting here now. And it's almost like great expectations for this family of elephant toad here. We are way downwind from them, but that wouldn't really be an issue even if they were concerned. I think I'm gonna go back to Twin Dams Road. Blown through today, cold front. That must have come in. I think these elephants have probably gone out onto Gowrie Cut Line. Craig, come in. Has anyone got a visual? Where was your last visual?
Where I pulled off near where I think it was Djuma at that daycare bunker. The east of Djuma Road.
Okay, because they've probably crossed out and gone down the Gowrie Cut Line now.
I've got a feeling about it on the same. Lee, have you got a visual? Alright, Mike, he's got a visual on the eastern side.
Yeah, we have some audio here behind us. We're just going to have a look to see if they come out here or if it comes through the drain issue.
Sounds like they're the other side of the dam. How's that? He just walked right through the dam. That shows you how deep it is. And I suppose it shows that it's not going to last very much longer. going to get a lot smaller. They are. Yeah. Okay. So we're on the wrong side of the drainage line. We were on the right side. One of those things. When elephants change their minds, they change their minds. That's one of the things about being an elephant. You can turn left wherever you want to, or right, or you can just turn around and go the other way. And us humans try to predict where they're going to be. Now, the water here at Gari Dam is shrinking, so it's not really that great, and I know that there are bigger dams up north in Buffelshoek, and if they do want water, she would rather take the herd, or they would rather take the herd to water up on Buffelshoek that is maybe fresher than to come to Gari Dam. It's just a speculation. Maybe with the cool temperatures today they don't need any water right now. Beautiful sky off to the west, the sunset. Hello. Yeah. You know that you got air on your front left there. That's pretty good. Go to Brent, and the elephants are here now, so but they're coming out to the dam, so we'll quickly give you a link to Brent. They're about to come out of the drainage line, that's why we haven't been able to see them. So I think if we just sit quietly now, we'll see the whole herd. We'll actually be able to count them now, finally. You can see the kind of dense bush in the bottom of this riverbed. How dense it really is. Okay, we need to position ourselves, Liam. She's listening, they're listening before they come to the dam. We're going to just go around there so that we can get them when they come to the water. Buffalo, just temporarily I have to bypass you. Sorry, Mr. B. I'll see you shortly. Oh. I'll in fact turn them. Hello, madam. Penny Pine on Twitter will at least stop eating and spend time resting at night. Elephants don't really sleep. Sorry, I'll kind of listen to what was needed on the radio there, Penny Pine. Gee, look at that, that just disappeared. Something got a bee in their bonnet and they've headed off north. They do rest for short periods of time. They, especially in the heat of the day and during the night, there are times during the night when they will stop feeding and they'll stand still and they will actually rest their bodies and rest themselves. But no, they've pretty much got to eat most of the time. Most of their 24 hours, they've got to be eating, processing food, or drinking, or cooling down. where they're going. They're probably going to that little waterhole in front of Gallagher Camp because that's got fresh water in it. And we wanted to look around here anyway, just in case there's a cat here that the monkeys were shouting at, because the elephants might flush a cat if it is around. Interesting question from Memphis. Sharon, hello Sharon. Referring to buffalo, we see them chewing the cud, we see them feeding, we see them resting up at the dams in the mud holes and in the water, chewing their cud, but we never see them drinking. Or do we just miss them drinking? Do they get their moisture from their food? Sharon, they do drink. I guess we just don't get to see them drinking. And if there's ever something to see, a sight to see, it is a breeding herd of buffalo that have been out in the grassland all day, and they're coming back to the river or the lake or the dam or whatever it may be. They're coming back for their evening drink or their morning drink for that matter. Almost becomes like a stampede to get to the water. But also I suppose when you see them sitting in the water, when they're chewing the cud in the water, you don't notice them dip their faces in and take a sip time to time, just to sort of moisten the cud, as it were, a bit of soup with the veggie. Go to Brent. I think he has something to show you, and I'm going to see if these ellies are not going to that little freshwater dam at Gallagher Camp why they forewent, or they didn't stop at Gowrie Dam. I'll see you in a little while. Probably by then it'll be dark.
Welcome back, folks. Sorry about that. We seem to be having a little bit of technical issues today, but we're back on WildEarthTV, and we've come to the hyena den, and we can see there's a single female there, and if you look very carefully, sort of out of the middle of her body, there's another ear. So there's a cub suckling. And then if we go off to the left again slightly, we'll come back to these two now. Behind a bush. Over there, a little bit more to the left. There we go. Directly behind that small buffalo thorn. You can have a look. There's another hyena sleeping down there. Obviously there could be a few more lying around close by to the den, but those are the only three we can see at the moment. Not very active. Very cool wind, but still nice. I haven't been to the hyena den in such a long time. Thought I would pop in, and the last couple of times I've been, there's been no one at home. Now, as you saw, it's been quite interesting that the one cub, who's probably what, 4.5, 5 months old now, we spotted a while ago, probably about 4.5, 5 kilometers from the den, with a group of 4 adults, where Mvula had a kill up a tree. So it's amazing, those young hyenas are already moving with the adults as they go out foraging. Very, very quiet at the hyena den. Was hoping there'd be a little bit of activity because it was cool. It looks like everyone's fast asleep. So the sun is starting to go down, and you guys know we don't really want to stay at the Haina Den after dark. We don't want to put undue pressure on any of the youngsters. So I think we're going to meander on up the hill, and hopefully the next time we come to visit, everyone will be a little bit more active than they are this afternoon. The sun's just dipped over the horizon to the west of us. Not even lifting their heads as we drive away. So this morning, we got a few emails into the final control, a few tweets, and a few of you noticed that I'm not firing on 100% all cylinders. I picked up a little bit of flu while I was away, and thanks very much for your concern. So I decided, how can I use this flu to my advantage? So I went and pulled out one of my books, which is called Indigenous Healing Plants. Oh, sorry guys, looks like Mark's found something interesting. We're going to cross across to him very quickly, but we'll be back with you just now.
Well, they suddenly got a lot of speed on them. One of the reasons why they came marching straight past Djuma waterhole was because they were on route. They know, they've been here, they know this water is pumped every day. It's borehole water, it's clean water, and as closer they were getting to, this is Gallagher, in front of Gallagher Camp, the closer they've been getting to this waterhole here at Gallagher Camp, the faster they were running. And it's been a little bit of a shoving match because some of the females like to ascertain their dominance. I want to just sit where they can see the little ones maybe. That's a nice view. And just behind them to the left, the deck at Gallagher Camp, which you can just see the railing of before VM zoomed in. But we're here for elephants, not deck railings. Thirsty children from a day's outing out in the bush. We certainly spent some quality time with them today.
Oh, we're not large. Upstairs is 3 MBCs at the bed.
She's looking. There are a couple of buffalo bulls that have moved off. They were probably sleeping here today, and they must be moving through the bush because there's one cow whirled around and spread her ears in that direction, expecting a bit of a threat because she must have heard something moving in the bush, but then realizing that it was not a threat, turning around and drinking again. Now you'll notice that much unlike their approach to other waterholes for different reasons when they're going to have a mud bath or a swim, when they're drinking, they barely put their feet in the water. This is how meticulous elephants are, and testament to the fact that they really, really would prefer fresh water, and if they have access to fresh water, they will go to any lengths to get to it rather than have to drink from some of these dams, pretty much like we would too. Our Gallagher camp is a little private camp here at Djuma Game Reserve, It's a self-contained little camp, and it's a self-catering camp. You can hire the whole little camp, and there'll be a vehicle for you to take you out on game drives to see all of these characters. And it's so sad that at a time when there was a whole herd of elephants right here in front of the deck, right in front of the camp, there's actually sadly no one here to watch it except us, but it's a nice opportunity. A little bit of disciplining happening. That youngster at the back was disciplined by this big cow, coming back to the waterhole now. Don't know what it did wrong. It was just getting too clingy, I think. The female walked back there to see there's a bird bath right in front of the deck, and this cow went to see if there was any water there that maybe was different to this water. And the calf was very clingy, and she turned around and pushed it away, almost as if to say, "Give me space, child." So reprimanded. It squealed. Hillary, hello Hillary. Hillary on Twitter was asking how long it takes for a baby elephant like this little child to learn how to use its trunk to drink water, to learn how to efficiently. Well, let's see, this little one is probably about a 2-year-old, maybe 3-year-old. No, it can't be a 3-year-old, it's only about a 2-year-old. It's not using its trunk properly. I think it's getting water in its trunk, but it's sucking the water out of its trunk as opposed to blowing the water out of its trunk. I think it's still learning. How long? I don't know. It's probably a good few years before they really get adept at using their trunks properly, for all sorts of reasons. It's not only drinking water, but it's everything that they do with their trunks. Their trunk is everything. I mean, it's our hands, our nose, a whole bunch of things all rolled into one. Well, it's intrigued by it.
Linda, are you trying to call? Nigel speaking.
Uncle Jakes, I'm just trying to get hold of either Dave or Greg.
Are they out on the game drive at the moment?
They just left camp, yes.
My guess is the matriarch is the one that has now stepped away. She's a big girl. She's the one with the broken tusk that we were watching today. This is now the herd. Pretty much most of the herd we saw today. Hello, girl. And with her moving off, it's a sign that the rest must follow. She's clearly the oldest. There are three other mothers. We can see the children who follow them are probably the little one that's got a splashed face. Must have stood under its mother when she was drinking. little pattern on its face, like paint, war paint. Hello Ellies. Thank you very much for such a wonderful day spent with you. Bless you all. From all of our viewers from all over the world, this is the best way to have the sun set on us, having spent so much time with these 4 big girls. There are 4 big girls. There's 2 teenagers, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children. I don't know what to say. It's very emotional and it's very special. It's humbling. It is. And look at that little one that's drinking from its mother. And the little boys, they naturally, what little boys do, they play with the water. Children sticking close to moms, getting dark. Oh, there's nothing I can. There's nothing that it is part of the construction of the dam that's been broken away. It's part of the lining, and the elephant is. I'm going to pick it up as soon as they go by. But the elephant's curious. It's like a toy. See, it's going to put it on its head, wear it like a hat. It's curious about it. It's not going to do anything other than throw it around. But it was probably used as a lining for this little water hole. And I guess with the buffalo and the large mammals that have been in it, it's cracking a little bit of the concrete and the lining is showing. And well, just as well the Ellie pulled it out, because he's having more fun splashing than drinking, the other one. Both of them, in fact, they're experimenting with water. He's actually feeling for more. He's just being naughty, but he's doing a good job. He's picking it up, and then I'll go and collect it. Just a lovely early sunset. Welcome to Djuma, everyone. Bats already flying around the ellies. See, he's learning how to squeeze the water out both sides. You see that? He sucks water up and then he closes his trunk, his fingers at the tip of his trunk, and then he squeezes the water out on both sides of his trunk. Almost like that. It's almost like he enjoys doing that. Your mamas are leaving you behind, children. Always the little boys. Now this scenario It's typical what happens in elephant society. The mothers and the calves and the females well, they haven't gone far. They're actually just here on the tree line feeding. But the little boys always dawdle behind. They always take their time because this is where they start getting their independence. And these are barely 10-year-olds, these little boys, 8 to 10-year-olds, and already lagging behind. So by the time they're going through puberty, they can spend time further distance away from the herd but still be in touch. And still be close enough if needed. He just threw a stick at us. But it's getting darker, and so it's time to leave them be as they go off into the bushveld. Actually, they might be on the road on our way out of here, but I think let's go leave them be. When it gets dark, they get a bit more private, and they certainly don't like lights, so we don't want to be putting lights on them. I think we've had a super afternoon with them, even though it took us a while to find them. Luckily we eventually did. And it's going to be time to put on a layer or two. It's starting to get chilly, and hook up a spotlight for our evening safari after sunset. Last half hour or so. Bye Elise, thank you. Love you lots. Bye. Leaving the luck with these and low static at Gallagher Waterhole.
Where are you from?
There you are. Good night, Mrs. Elephant.
If it's close by, okay, welcome to the Nevada. Okay, good.
Hello, Grace. In Dallas, Texas. Would the Ellies spray each other just for fun? They do. They would. They have. Especially when they're swimming, they splash each other with their trunk. They jump on each other. They push them. They push each other under. They even sometimes push each other into the water to swim. They're like children. They are children. They're elephant children. Whatever our children do is play, they do. Except they don't have Nintendos and Sonys and Xboxes. Kind of play that our children would do if they didn't have modern toys. Elephants have calves any time of the year, or is there a specific time of the year? Question from Cindy in Wisconsin. To my knowledge, Cindy, elephants can calve any time of the year. They have about a 22-month gestation period, and that coupled with an estrus period and an interval of several years, because it takes 2 or 3 years to raise a calf before she'll be able to fall pregnant again, and then if she conceives, she'll have an almost 2-year pregnancy, and then another 2 years of looking after that calf. So it can take a while between calves, and because it's a really irregular kind of thing, there is no special time of year, not like we're experiencing with impala, for example, or the wildebeest. We don't see the wildebeest in the mating stage as much as we have in with the impala, because the impala is so vocal about it. But all the female impala need to fall pregnant at a particular time, and the lambs will need to be born at a particular time when it is most convenient to raise them and to stay healthy. So animals like that, there are specific times of the year. But for a number of animals it doesn't really matter. Or there is probably a predominance of birth time with spring. But some animals are not necessarily that dependent on season. In fact, some animals will breed better in the winter months. A wild dog do better raising pups in the dry season. There's less parasite load, it's dustier, it's drier, it's easier to hunt, it's easier to raise pups I mean. But elephants, not really any specific time of the year. That's something I haven't heard before. Patty in Michigan. Hello, Patty. That's a very interesting story. The very first time Patty was here, Patty came out from Michigan, and the first day out here in the Sabi Sand, fell asleep at the swimming pool and woke up, and she was surrounded by elephants who were drinking from the pool, which is what elephants would do because the swimming pool water is really, really clean. I don't think the chlorine affects them too badly. And hello, impala. Stopped too soon. And Patty wants to know, well, she was frozen. She wishes she could have interacted with them. She wishes she had even spoken to them. But she wants to know, from my opinion, my point of view, did she do the right thing, just being very, very silent and keeping very, very still? I think so, Paddy. I think if they had been approaching you and then you made it known and you spoke to them while they were approaching and then they still approached, it would be a different story. But to wake up and have them around you, I think if you had spoken or moved or made any gestures, that might have given them a fright and then they might have just run off. I don't think you were in any danger. I certainly don't think you were in any danger. But I do think that by sitting quietly you gained the most amazing experience rather than having done something to change their behavior. They probably knew full well that you were there and that you were restful. Hello, children. You're trying to get away from the ram. Are you going to sneak? He's going to come and get you. He just has to look at her and she gets back into line. He puts his head down, he does a particular gesture, and while they comply, he's being like a sheepdog. Or he's being like, he's shepherding. That's what he's doing. He's shepherding his flock. He doesn't want them talking to us. He's moving his head around, not really worried about the little boy behind him because he's just a young ram. But as far as the females are concerned, he's moving them along, he's shepherding them away. Don't talk to those humans. Okay, let's turn around a little bit. Can't miss this. This beautiful light, sunset, and it is impala rocking. See, all they've done is to go behind us. Once he's relaxed, they can relax. He's quite vigilant. He turns around and he just makes sure they're all in line, but ultimately he spends most of his time looking out for other rams that want to come in and either take his place or steal some females. He's going to fetch the ones that haven't crossed the road yet. That little boy and the mother. She seems to be defying him. And through all of this, you'll see he barely takes time to eat. I think we're coming up towards the end of the rutting season now, and the noises and the running around hasn't been as intense as it has over the last couple of weeks, but he spends so much time doing this and chasing off young rams wanting to come back to their mothers, or chasing off adult rams who want to come and displace him, and then keeping the herd close. He doesn't maintain his condition for very long.
Nigel, come in. Jebo. Hi Nigel, it's Vic here.
beautiful sky. I'm just going to put on a cover. It's starting to get a bit chilly. Our waxing crescent moon. Kelsey, hello. Savannah in Georgia, wanting to know if impala rams will get more aggressive towards vehicles during the rutting season like male elephants do when they're in must. No, absolutely not. We don't see us as competition, but also male elephants in must don't necessarily get aggressive with the vehicles. They get aggressive with what the vehicle does, and that's all how the driver of the vehicle behaves, unfortunately. I've spent many times with musk elephant bulls in many different countries where they come up to the vehicle and they don't do anything to the vehicle because there's just a vehicle sitting quietly not doing anything. But when vehicles start revving engines and doing all sorts of funny things, it can really make a big elephant bull a little bit upset sometimes. Well, it's getting a bit dark to see the impala, so we're going to continue. And we'll drive around quarantine. We're going to go back down to maybe Gowrie Dam way. We can find for an evening safari just after sunset. Greetings to Finland, to Raisa, asking if bushbuck and duiker have territories. Duiker have territories, but bushbuck, I don't think you could really call it a territory that bushbuck have. Bushbuck live in a particular area that's just sort of like a home range. It's just like an area that they live in. It's like you live in a town. Bushbuck will challenge each other for access to females rather than for territorial rights. So there isn't really a proper territory, as it were, with bushbuck. More like a home range. I don't think they actively defend the territory as do some other antelope. Much like kudu, their cousins, or the nyala. They're quite social out of breeding periods, but once the breeding season comes along, the males get very competitive, and that's when they can challenge each other, and that's when it all becomes about access to groups of females more than actually where everything is, where it is. Duiker will actively mark and defend territories because they are more monogamous, and it's more in their interests to protect the one female and the one set of offspring that they may have at a time, or not set, but one offspring that they have at a time, to ensure their gene carries through, their genetic code, their genetic material lasts till adulthood. The benefits of defending a territory is making sure that your gene, your progeny, survives. Interesting. Brent's got something interesting to follow up on, so we're going to cross over to Brent. I think I saw him on the top end of quarantine as we were coming down this way, so let's cross over to Brent and I'll see you in a little while.
got a report over the radio from one of the other vehicles that is being stopped for sundowners. Can you hear a whole bunch of kudu alarm calling near Treehouse Dam? So we're going to shoot into that area, and hopefully there's a predator around there. So we're going to be going a little bit quicker than normal for this next little bit. Oopsie. So guys, sorry, I know you guys went off to have some fantastic elephants with Mark there. So we didn't get around to the cold and flu medicine. I'm afraid I think I'm going to have to save that for tomorrow. Just to give you something to think about though, it is made from a plant I have taught you and shown you quite a few times before. So let's just chew on that one for a little bit. Also, in some quite exciting news, tomorrow morning we're going to have a new presenter trying out. His name is James, and he's a very old friend of mine, and we've actually worked together in the bush before. So quite exciting to have James here trying out as a presenter. And James has got lots and lots of experience and has been in the bush a long time, and a very dear and close friend of mine. So what I am hoping is that the last place the quarantine was seen was in Little Gowrie, which is directly to the south of us, which is the boundary towards that direction. And from what I heard from Aubrey, that it sounds like those alarm cars were coming from that direction. Just to follow up on that report of those two males feeding off the same carcass, Quarantine young male and Djuma young male, that actually happened like 3 days ago, from what I heard from the guides to the west of us, but they only popped it on Facebook yesterday, so they haven't actually seen either of those animals, although I hear there might be a report of Djuma somewhere to our south on a Diker kill, but that is, I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but I will follow up after drive. So, from what we heard, those alarm calls to the north of the dam in this general area around here. So we're going to go slowly through here, and maybe we'll get some luck. So we've arrived in the area of those alarm calls. So we are a little bit late. So it's unlikely that they'll be alarming now. But as we know, lots of leopards like to use roads as highways. So what we're going to do is we're going to just meander down here a little bit. Then I'm going to switch off and listen for a few seconds. also checking tracks constantly, see if there are any tracks on the road. No, it's a diker. For those of you who might be new, we don't shine the spotlights on the diurnal animals. Their eyes are made up differently from nocturnal animals, so it can affect them. Oh, excuse me. So when we see one, we switch off the lights, put the spotlights up in the air. So here are the kudu, and that's what Aubrey said was alarming, so we're right in the right zone now.
Disappeared. I don't know if he joined the local troop of vervet monkeys that came around this morning or yesterday. Yes, this is the exciting part of the day where we try and find you some of the nocturnal animals that might be lurking behind every bush, under every leaf. Hello, Susan, in the Netherlands. Susan wants to know if I've ever seen an elephant give birth in the wild. If I've ever seen it live. I haven't, Susan. I haven't had the privilege. I think it's, I haven't even seen an impala give birth, and I live in the bush. 24/7, 365 a year. I live in the bush. I just ventured into the city for the first time in a long time, just recently, my first glimpse of airports and traffic lights, and traffic, period, just cars, gosh, got a culture shock after a couple of years. Anyway, lived in the bush. I've never seen an impala give birth, never even seen it. The only thing I've seen give birth is a cow. And that was that was a domestic cow. Although she was pretty angry at me because she thought I wanted to steal her calf. But it must be something to witness, to be a part of. I've seen it on film. Tom from Missouri. Do I think that the elephants that we spent time with today would recognize the different guides and presenters and people in the vehicles, camera people, the guys? I think, Tom, if we got to see the same elephant over consistent periods of time, very much so, yes. I think when we see one herd of elephant like this particular herd, and I don't recall seeing, I might have photographs of this herd, but I don't think we see them frequently enough for them to get used to us. I think most certainly from our time today, spending time with them today, they got to know maybe the sound of my voice, they got to know most certainly the sound of jigger. And if anything, elephants will react more to the sound of the vehicles than they will to recognizing the people, because essentially it's the vehicle that to them is either the aggressor or either passive or aggressive. And it does have a lot to do with how a person drives a vehicle. I mean, there have been times when I've been a game ranger in a lodge with multiple game rangers, and we've all had our own vehicles. And occasionally a vehicle breaks down, you have to drive another person's vehicle. You get to see what animals react to that vehicle, especially elephants, depending on how that guide reacts to elephants. So I think to a large extent, things like quietly sitting with the elephant today and for most of the morning drive, our sunrise safari, and now spending time with them at sunset with them drinking and then just coming past us to go feeding, and not really even acknowledging us, let alone being worried about us or hindered by our presence. I'd like to think that they do. I'd like to think that there's certain elephants I have at home that come to my house. There's one in particular. He stands on my stoep at my front door. He eats my aloes. He torments me by breaking my plants. But that's because I shouldn't really have plants. I live in the bush. Elephant thinks I'm planting things there for his benefit. It's his own pharmacopoeia. I can't blame him. It's his. What's mine is his. What's mine is every elephant. Just don't touch my baobab. But I hope that I can spend more time with this particular herd of elephant that we were with today. And over time we might be able to answer that question better. But I don't think we spend enough time with them for them to form that kind of bond. And there's just so many elephants here. In Thornybush it was a lot different. In Thornybush, one herd of elephant, got to know specific guides and got to interact with them in different ways. Well, we're back at Philemon's Dip. We're going to be heading up towards quarantine. I want to thank you for your time today, spending time with us on Drive, supporting us. Thank you also for all the questions. I hope you had as much of a fantastic time as I did with the elephants. It was superb. It was absolutely special. So, from myself, Mark, and VM behind the camera, thank you, VM, for all the good stuff today. I'm going to hand you back to Brent. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye, everybody. Love you lots. How's that link?
Hi guys, welcome back. We've just been all the way around the Treehouse Dam. Unfortunately, we found the kudu, but we didn't find what they were alarming at. But that's, oh, he's sitting on all sorts of things. A really good thing for tomorrow. Hopefully we find some tracks and it'll give us a good chance to look. But it's been great having you all with us this wonderful sunset drive. Really, really exciting that we found a serval. Brian and I are still smiling ear to ear about that. First for both of us in this area. And also really excited to welcome James, who's trying out to be a presenter in the morning. We're very, very, very excited to have him here. As I said, he's got a lot of experience, been in the bush a long time. Really great guy, very funny. But other than that, it's been a wonderful afternoon. Mark's had some fantastic elephant viewing. We haven't been so lucky, but at the end of it, after finding a serval, I think Brian and I are pretty done for the day. Very, very excited about that. And we're really looking forward to all of you joining for the sunrise safari tomorrow morning. I myself, unfortunately, I'm not going to be out, so you're going to be out with Mark and James. And it'll be very exciting to have a new presenter for you guys to have a look at. And please let us know what you think of him. Obviously, you guys are our viewers and very important to us. And we look forward to hearing your feedback. And for the last couple of minutes, I think we're just going to let you listen to the stillness of the African bush and have a view of the moon. So from all of us here at Wild Earth, good night and have a wonderful day or morning or evening wherever you are in the world.